Music matters. Mr. Bray,
Yes, sir.
how are you, brother?
Doing great, Mr. Dante.
Thank you for coming on, dude. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the yerba too as well.
Of course, brother. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Yes, sir.
Crazy day. Trump gets shot. It's Saturday.
Wow.
You know, Saturday night. Crazy turn of events today, bro. What have you been up to, man? How's your day been so far?
My day's been good. I picked up my girlfriend, drove back home, just chilled out for most of the day.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm here. I'm gonna make some sushi later. It's gonna be a good day. Yeah.
Wait, so you're a chef at the sushi spot? Or no. You don't work there anymore. That's right.
Yeah, we're gone.
Yeah, we're gone.
I just picked up like cooking probably a couple months ago.
Okay.
Just started cooking random.
Dude, I've seen your stories with this. You've been going hard, dude.
Hey,
like,
man.
yeah.
Come on now.
You guys have been going hard. I've seen it. What was the damn? There was one thing the other day that you made look hella pretty. I don't remember what it was.
What did it? Was it my sushi?
It might have been before that.
Was it? Was it my pasta?
It might have. I think it was the pasta.
Oh, my Alfredo pasta.
Yeah, bro.
That was like the first thing I cooked too.
That looked crazy. Do you so you moved to LA like not a year ago now, right? Like,
dude, it's almost a year.
Well,
it's
that's crazy.
10 months ago. Yeah,
that's
September.
crazy. Okay, damn. Holy shit.
The fastest year of my fucking life.
Yeah, I feel that. I was gonna say right when because I moved not too long before you. Probably like I've been here. Wait.
A year prior, yeah.
I guess a year prior. So you said October is gonna be your year?
September.
Okay, gotcha. And October's my year. So yeah, I guess I moved. Yeah, like about a year prior. But I think it very similar timeline. Like within like 6 to 7 months, when I, for the first time in my life, I'd really been cooking for myself every single day. Yeah. I got like really excited by the idea of cooking, and I got like super into it.
It wasn't until like a few months ago.
Okay.
Like it wasn't until I started dating my girlfriend where I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna cook for someone. You know?
Aww.
And I never really like cooked before then.
Yeah.
And pretty much me cooking now is I'm just like kind of freeballing everything.
Yeah. It's more. It's good. Way more fun that way.
Yeah, I've exceeded my expectations a little bit. She likes it.
That's all that matters. Cooking is like incredibly artistic. Like I don't think before I started really cooking I fully realized that. Like everybody says that. Yeah. But then I started cooking and I was like, there is a certain, I don't know, like I think what's really cool about cooking to me, like it's almost like the process is worth more than the sum of its parts.
Oh, of course. Especially when it tastes good.
Yeah, exactly. I love cooking for my girlfriend too, and it's just like it's the whole process of like starting a meal and then like listening to music and hanging out and cooking and waiting for like I love things that take a long time to cook. You know, like a good like just night of cooking is fucking awesome.
What's the go-to dish right now?
Ooh, dude, yesterday actually I made probably the best chicken sandwich I've ever made. It was so good, bro. I made it on sourdough. I got this they had this like Kinder's chicken sauce that I bought from Ralph's. Brought that home, diced some onions, and then I sautéed those with some pickles. Oh, so good, bro. Okay. So
He's worked in
good.
a restaurant before.
Yeah, dude. I was in a restaurant for a long time. Did you work like other restaurant jobs before you moved here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So how long have you been in the game?
Oh God, too long. Nah, probably not that long. Probably like probably about 4 years now. Yeah, like 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've been serving at them?
So I started off busing, and then it was just too long. I wanted to get promoted to server, and then I moved somewhere else. Became a server there. Went back to the place, and then I've been serving ever since. And then I was serving at my good job when I came here. Yeah. Got fired, and then went to another job.
Do you find that it was interesting when I was serving table? I think there was, I actually thought about this recently for the first time in a long time. But there's things you can take and there's things you can leave. But I think there is a lot of pros in the sense that like, I think for me anyway, and what I do with interviewing, it certainly helped my conversational skills, and I think it also helped me 100%. Like understand people. Like I really tried to get to the point where I was like taking a lesson for everybody I talked to. Yeah. Do you like? Is it a hard thing for you, or do you enjoy like the social aspect of it?
I do and I don't. I do more like in terms of like being a busser and stuff. I could just put my head down and just like just do my work and stuff without like talking to anybody. But serving is cool. It's like a hit or miss though. Like if you have really cool people, it's great. It's like amazing, and then you want to do your best for them. But like if you have like like a bad table, you're just like, ooh,
Yeah.
okay, now I'm stuck with them for like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
This is great.
I loved the busing flow. Like, I really, really loved, like, getting into my head while I was busing, just thinking about nothing. Or just,
just locking in.
Either that or getting, like, super, super, super deep in thought of something else. Like I could be, like, pondering, like, the future above the bridge, but in reality, I'm just, like, serving tables. But in my head, I'm in, like, this whole other world, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You can get, like, so deep into it.
Nah, I used to have, like, a pen and paper serving job, and I used to, like...
Dude.
I used to have, like, one page where I would just, like, do that, and then the next page would be, like, me writing lyrics or, like,
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's so funny.
That's sick that you wrote lyrics. I would just write. Like, I would just write about, like, whatever I was thinking about. There was actually I have one it's pinned to a bulletin board in my room, and I cherish that piece of paper more than most pieces of paper. But it's a serving sheet that I was writing on, and it was New Year's Eve last year.
Mm-hmm.
It was, or not, I guess 2 years ago now. Yeah, I guess 2 years ago now. It was the first year I moved here, but I was working at Benihana.
Yeah.
And I was writing on a serving sheet, sitting at, like, the bar at that table, and I was the last table. I had the last table of the night, and I was the last server there. And I got there at, like, 2 p.m. and it was 12 a.m. Like, we were open for, like, an extra hour that day or that night because it was New Year's, and then I just happened to get the last table. So it was fucked. I was there for so long, but I was writing, just sitting at that bar, and I was watching the table. They came in like 11:30 and we were closing at like 12, which was fucked.
That's
but
the worst.
Yeah, which is super fucked. But anyway, they, like, were there to, like, watch the ball drop or whatever, and it was on the TVs and they were counting down. It's such a vivid memory in my head. But I was sitting at that bar and I was writing about how badly I wish I wasn't there, and then I just kind of watched them, like, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year, and, like,
just
all that,
there, yeah.
and like all the. So Benihana's only tables of, like, 8, so they all got up and were cheering and whatever. And I'm just sitting there kind of watching, and I wrote down on that piece of paper, I was like, this will be the last Christmas season that I work in a restaurant.
Wow. And it was,
yeah. But that's a piece of paper I think I'll definitely keep forever.
Oh, no, for sure. Do you still have it?
Yeah. It's on a bulletin board in my room.
Oh, that's sick.
Mm-hmm. But they're great places to dream, I think.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%. I still do that.
Yeah.
I still do that when I'm working, dude.
Do you find yourself, like, at least musically, like, are you somebody who maps out goals super far in advance? Like, are you like a 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 year thinker, or are you kind of just, you go day by day? Or do you have things you do every day? How does kind of music kind of, like, fit its way into your life when you're doing so much other stuff?
I typically take it day by day, but I still have, like, my long-term goals. Like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. But recently, it wasn't even until recently to where, like, I've actually started to map things out. And, like, okay, like, I want to do this, but this is exactly how I'm going to do it. You know, I feel like I was kind of just, like, freeballing it for, like, the first few years, and now I feel like I have a lot more structure. You know,
yeah,
sure.
I totally feel that. I think it's really, really important to have, like, at least some semblance of structure, but also, like, when you are working that kind of, like, more traditional 9 to 5, it's fucking hard, dude.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like, you don't want to, like, wake up early and do it because you're exhausted from the previous day, and then you don't want to come home and do it because you're exhausted from that night. It's just like this constant battle to fit it in, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
now. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Yeah. Now I'm, like, just managing my time better and everything. Just, like, now I'm a lot more organized in terms of, like, my day. You know, I've, cut down on a few habits and just, like, written things down day by day, writing out my weeks, writing down my days, exactly what I'm gonna do during that day too as well.
That's huge, bro. What like prompted that change?
It's funny. This was actually, like, a few days ago. I was in the backyard, and me and my friends, we were smoking in the backyard, and then I go back inside, and I'm, like, very, like, high and stuff, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm just thinking about my life, and I'm like, wow, I need some structure. Like, just I don't know, like, I just had, like, a quarter life crisis, like, a few days ago, and, like, now I'm, like, kind of just picking up the pieces. Yeah.
In a good way or a bad way?
No, good
like,
way.
In a good way?
Like,
in the moment it wasn't, like, scary?
Nah, not, like, scary. It was for a little bit, but then, like, I'm like, okay, like, this is what I'm gonna do and everything.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm gonna quit doing this, I'm gonna quit doing that, I'm gonna quit, or not even just quit, but I'm gonna start doing this, I'm gonna start doing that, start organizing my days, start, also taking things day by day as well.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, that's how like my last week was. It was
damn, bro, that's a heavy week.
Yeah,
But
it was. It just all came at once, and then I talked to Sai and MJ about it at home, and they're just like, "No, I think that's a good idea."
Dude, yeah, I think it's a great thing. I think you always in those moments of like check in. I think they come often. I think they come like when you least expect it. Very often.
Oh yeah, I didn't expect you that night.
Yeah, exactly. Because like I think. Like when you're comfortable is when they should come realistically, but when you're comfortable is not like when you're expecting them to come, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Also, weed is really good for that. I think I think weed. Like the one thing, like I smoke like casually, like sometimes I smoked a lot when I was younger, and then I didn't for a very very long time. So I've gone in phases, whatever. But I think it's really good about telling you things that like you should admit to yourself and you kind of know, but like you don't want to admit or consciously think about. Like the accountability, exactly. I feel like it's good in that way, and I think if you're in like a good headspace, that can be like really healthy growth. You know,
100%.
Does it help? Well, I would imagine it helps, but like how helpful is it to have like a community and like a group of people that you guys have in that house? Because like you and all the Illusion Hills dudes, that's so sick.
I love it, dude. It's great. You know, MJ, he's very driven. You know, he's a very driven kid. And shoot, like I met him.
I feel like I knew that from the moment I met that guy.
Dude.
Yeah,
I met him when he was 18. They just like graduated high school, and like I met him when I was like 21. But like, just like a kid out of high school. They started in high school. Like I started in college. Like they started in high school. They did not care. Like MJ started making music in like middle school. But I don't know, just being around them, being around that group dynamic, I've never seen anything like it before. And yeah, it's very motivating. Like I'll have days where I don't record, and then I just see this full MJ just locked in on the laptop in the living room.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, okay, I gotta go in my room and record something.
Yeah.
Vice versa, you know, like say like they're not really like doing anything, and then they see me like in my room, they're like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm recording. They're like, oh, okay. And then they go to make some music in the living room. So it's like we definitely feed off each other, you know, even not even just music, but like say like MJ's filming like a TikTok or something or a video. I'm like, shit, I need to make more content too as well, you know? So it's kind of just bouncing off each other, and it's good, and it's great to be surrounded by that too as well, because it's a lot different if like, you know, they don't get it, you know? But they get it, so it's great. I love it,
dude. That having that, like, not only just in close friends but also in roommates, and also just in anything really, I guess anybody in your life, having that like sense of relationship where you don't have to explain yourself is like the best thing in the world. Because I think like being in art and like being creative, like you're so often just in this position where you have to explain yourself, and you gotta you know, like you have to, this is what I do and this is why I do it and this is where I am and I'm gonna be okay, I promise I'm not doing nothing, you know. But it's like having those people around you, and I think that was a very interesting thing. My girlfriend came to visit me a couple weeks ago now, and she was talking about how it was interesting how like so many artists are only friends with like artists, and I was like, I think a big reason for that though is because of that level of like not having to explain yourself and not feeling like the people around you don't relate or even like have a window into your world at all. I don't know, but I don't know, maybe that's just me speaking as somebody who works in music. Like do you think that way?
No, like in terms of that, to where like, you know, you can relate on a lot of things, and like you said, without like explaining yourself at all either too as well, and they understand what you're going through. Like the best, like our roommates, like me and IH, like we're kind of at the same stage in our like careers right now, you know, like we're still like on the cusp right there, but like we're very close, you know, and we're still just like motivating each other to just get to that next level. It's great, dude. And, like ever since I met the guys, like I haven't met people as motivated as they are, or actually like give a shit as much as me, you know. If anything, a little bit more, and then we just feed off each other. It's great.
That's so beautiful, bro. I totally feel that. So you said you met them when they were like straight out of high school?
Gotcha. Dude, it was crazy because we had a show together. So Colt, he threw a show in Orange County with like local people.
I think I remember that. Yeah,
they headlined it, and then I was like the mid card. I'm like talking like it's fucking fighting, but I was like the third out of 5 acts, and I met him that day, and you know I stayed along for the performance and everything, and then we talked after, and I'm like, oh yeah, like where you guys from? I'm like, where did you guys go to high school? And they're like, oh, like we just graduated. I'm like, bro, are you serious right now?
Yeah,
what the hell? And then I was like, oh yeah, you guys work with like producers or anything too? And he's like, Me. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, all right, for sure. Little boys. I'm like, how old are you? And he's like, oh, dude, I'm 18. I'm like, bro, what the hell? All of you? And he's like, yeah, dude. No, they made me feel old, dude. I remember one time I was in
some unk shit.
Yeah, on some unk shit. I was in the car one day, and then like I think like Denzel Curry played, and then it was Balloons, that album, and Jay was like, dude, this reminds me so much of middle school. And I'm like, middle school, dude? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, bro. Well, Jay's like the young. Well, is Jay or MJ the youngest? I guess MJ, right?
MJ is, well, Psy's the oldest.
Yeah.
Psy's only a year younger than me.
Yeah.
But Jay, I believe, is the youngest. Out of the musicians, I think, out of everyone, Salad.
How old Salad?
I think he's 19.
That's so crazy, bro. That makes me feel old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
But that's so fucking cool, bro. I don't know. Like, I find myself, like, very, very much being inspired by people like that. I think I used to, I don't know when that's the switch, but I used to, I don't know about, like, I don't think jealous is the right word. I just think, like, maybe it's really easy, I think, especially living in LA, to compare yourself to other people who are in your field, for sure.
100%.
But I think when I first moved here, maybe I'd see people who are younger than me doing the damn thing, and I was like, damn, like, I was nowhere like that when I was 18 or when I was 17 or when I was 20 or whatever. But I think now I've come to a place where, you know, I've just accepted that, like, you know, everybody, your journey is your journey, my journey is my journey. It'll all come and it'll all go. But I think now I've got this place where it's very, very inspiring to see people like that who are like
100%.
that young and that hungry, bro, and just like driven. I think some people are just
Very
born
hungry.
with that. I really do.
Yeah.
And then I think some people get it through experience, but I truly, truly believe that some people just have it, and whatever they do, they just want to be successful so bad, you know?
Yeah.
And I definitely feel that way about MJ and all the other guys too.
Yeah.
When so you said they were in high school when you met them, and then you were in college making music.
Yeah.
Where did you go to college? I didn't know which college. So did you finish? Where'd you go?
Local college,
Okay.
Saddleback Community College. It was probably about 15 minutes away from my house.
Nice.
I grew up in Orange County, Aliso Viejo, the tough streets. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I grew up there. Not a lot of people made music around there, and most of them were like rappers and stuff, and they weren't really making like the sound I was until I met IH.
Gotcha.
And yeah, no, I was out there. I always wanted to move out here though, because most of the people who were making like the more similar sound to me, they were all out there.
Yeah.
You know, so it was very cool.
How did you originally like find music and get into it when you were kind of out there and didn't have like very much of a community around it? Was it a person, or was it the internet, or what kind of like sprawled you into this place where you decided there's something you wanted to do?
So I've been around music my whole life. I used to like dance and like drum in this Polynesian culture center. I used to play like the drums. My brother used to fire.
Is that what you are, Polynesian?
Huh?
Are you Polynesian or Filipino? What are you?
Oh, I'm Filipino.
You're just straight Filipino, 100%?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But we just happen to be there. But
you guys were just kicking it with the Polynesians.
Yes, exactly.
Sick.
Yeah, my brother does fire knife. He does dancing. My sister dances.
Wait, fire knife?
Yeah. Have you ever seen the?
No.
Where they spin
what is that?
The fire on a stick. I'll show you videos after. No, fire knife is crazy.
Wait, I've seen when they spin the like almost like the torch looking thing with a fire on both ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do they call it a knife?
Because most of them, it's like a stick, and then it's like kind of like a hook.
Oh, so you can't grab one end?
No.
What the
So you have
fuck?
to grab it by the middle.
So not only is it burning, it's also sharp.
Yeah, but it's like dull enough to like, you know, I'm not gonna cut my arm. But
Okay,
like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's still like, you know, kind of dangerous.
That is a crazy
like
sport.
I could definitely fuck someone up with it.
Oh my! I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah.
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
How did your brother get into that?
My dad. So like my mom used to do like hula dancing and stuff, and then she stayed in that. She went to a studio nearby, and then my dad got involved, and then they just brought us in it. Grew up. My sister's still dancing though. She does like hip hop too as well. So very like artsy family.
Okay,
you know,
cool.
I grew up drawing and stuff too as well, and I like was in orchestra until middle school, but I stopped all music in high school. But I was still keeping an ear out.
So you were still into it, but you weren't like making
For sure,
it or
I was
anything?
like a mini A&R in high school.
Okay, sick.
Like I put everyone on to everything in high school.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I would make. It started like my junior year. I made these like BS rap songs with my friends, like messing around. I wish I could find them, but they're
was it
gone.
like outwardly a joke?
It was a joke. It was a joke for sure, and it was just like
on some like Bros of G Hill shit.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, it was kind of like a satirical thing. You know, we were just making fun of some of the people that actually do that in our area.
Okay.
It's like, bro, like your neighborhood has a gay code. Why you rapping like this? But yeah, we did that, and then I was like, dude, this is really fun. Like, you know, even just messing around, this is really fun.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until my freshman year of college, I took a music production class. I'm like, dude, this is really fun.
Yeah.
Like, I am really into this. And then
that was in college.
Yeah, my first year of college, and then
what made you take it? You had an interest in it, or
I just had an interest in it because
gotcha.
my senior year of high school, I like picked up GarageBand and I just started making like bullshit beats on my phone, you know, and it was really fun. And then I was like, oh yeah, I actually want to learn this, so I took that class, and then COVID happened, and then I had to take some of it online. But then I just got Logic from one of my friends in the class. I met him first day, and he was like, oh, you're in the music production class with me? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, do you have a DAW? I'm like, no. And he's like, here, let me put Logic on your laptop. And then he put Logic on my laptop. Yeah.
Good ass guy.
Yeah, great dude. Shout out to Alexis. But
shout out Alexis.
But yeah, that, and then the lockdown happened. So when the lockdown happened, I only did music. Like, I, you know, was just watching YouTube videos.
So that was when you found it.
Yeah, I was going in my car, parking in like an empty parking lot, recording everything there. I was doing that until like last year. Okay. Like damn near every song in my discography is like from my car.
What the hell? That's crazy. That was just because you couldn't record at your house, or?
I didn't feel comfortable recording in my house.
Gotcha.
And like I was able to do like get studio time because I used to work at a studio, but I don't know, like I was so used to doing it for a long time. It wasn't until like this year to where I like really got comfortable recording like outside, like in my room. Things.
Were your parents like, were they aware you were doing it?
Yes. Okay. They didn't think I was like serious as like, you know, they didn't think I took it as serious as I was. Yeah. Up until like a couple years ago.
Gotcha.
And that conversation was a little rough.
Yeah.
You know, I dropped out for it. And yeah, growing up, you know, little Asian household, they're like, what? You know, dropping up for music? What? Like, are you sure? My dad was in it like full-fledged from the start. He was like, okay, as long as you have a plan, go ahead. My mom, like, it took her a little bit, but now to get it, but now they do understand. They see I've been like, you know, definitely like doing some things with it for sure, and they do believe now. Yeah, that's super sick, bro. It's gotta be such a cool feeling, being able to like go from where they didn't really get it to like understanding it more. Now they understand it more. Yeah. My dad's like, you going back to school? I'm like, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see for sure. I always hit him with the maybe one. Yeah.
I feel you on that. Like, yeah, my parents are the best, bro. But there was a moment where I dropped out like pretty prematurely, to be honest with you. Like, I dropped out when I had really no proof at all. Yeah, me too. Just like, I waited like a year to tell him, and dude, I was already like, I was one semester into college, and then the second semester, I told him, if you see this, I'm sorry, but I told him, oh yeah, I'm still going to school, and then I would go like, I gotta go upstairs, I'm gonna do my class real quick. I go in my room, start making beats. It's actually like an FL Studio class. No, it's like, oh, you're taking music production again? Because I walked in and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just working on an assignment. And like, oh, okay, for sure. Close the door again. The assignment's called like RX Nephew type beat. Like Nah, bro, but no, they're supportive now. They see it. That's so cool, bro. They supported me moving out too as well. Damn, that's so sick, dude. That's awesome. Shout out parents. That's so cool. Shout out mom and dad for Hell sure. Yeah. There was like a moment for me in that journey where my like I said, like I dropped out very prematurely, to be honest with you, without very much proof at all. No just plan like, at all, kind of just like I had a plan, but the plan had not been executed whatsoever. It was very much like delusional self-belief, or like seemingly delusional self-belief, right? Yeah. But I dropped out and I threw our first show ever, which I'm gonna say publicly, because me and Mario realized the other day, I thought we sold that show out. but I was just told that the cap of the venue was not what I thought it was. The head booker of the venue just told me that like last week.
Bro.
So I have publicly said we sold that show out a million times. We didn't sell it out. We just almost sold it out.
Oh
but,
my, okay.
Yeah.
What was the cap?
It's like 300, I guess. Apparently, I thought it was 200, and we sold like 198 tickets or something.
Either way, for the first show, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was juiced on it for sure. But we did that, and that was like a huge moment because I kind of can't. This fly is fucking with me, bro. But I came home, and my mom had like I came home like super late because I had gone out. I was excited, whatever, and my mom like left this note on my laptop. I had like my laptop on my desk, and my mom had like a note, and she kind of like shut the laptop case on it, and the note just said like, "I love you and I trust you," and that was like a crazy moment for me because she just didn't really like. You know, it's a very, very hard thing to explain, I think, a lot of the time.
100%.
Like, my parents are both chefs. You know, like, they're not super, like online, like, yeah, that's not what they're like, really. But they just, I don't know, like, she just got it that moment. So I feel you on that. Like, kind of going in that arc is a beautiful, beautiful journey.
Yeah, it wasn't until, like, I remember it was, like, sometime last year. Like, they both, like, sent me, I think it was, like, my birthday card, and they were like, oh, like, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of like what you've achieved. And I'm like, damn. Like,
yeah.
That like teared up.
Yeah, that's so beautiful, bro. What are your parents like? What do they do? Kind of like how did you grow up? What was their relationship with their work like?
My dad, he was always working. He's an engineer.
Cool.
He worked for Boeing, like a bunch of those companies too as well.
So like a mechanical engineer?
Yeah, mechanical engineering. Yeah. He can't tell me what he does. My whole life I thought he was like a secret agent.
Really? He's one of that's crazy.
Yeah, no, he can't. Nah, I won't get into that.
Yeah.
But he was
Don't get into that.
He's been doing that his whole life. And then my mom's a nurse.
Cool, okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Very Filipino of her, but yeah, she's a nurse.
Hard-working family. That's sick. Those are two serious-ass jobs.
Yeah, no. Which is why it's like crazy for me to become a musician, you know.
Was there anybody else in your family that ever did it? Like any cousins or anything, or?
Not seriously. Like one of my cousins, he does like music, but he went to school. He works a job too as well, but I'm the first one out of my family to like actually try to push this professionally and like it's a job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my dad like plays bass and he's in like a band.
Cool.
But like
he,
you know, it's not as serious as like how I want to take it.
Yeah.
Know?
Does that feel more exciting or like scary?
In terms, like being the first. At first, it was scary. At first, it's like I didn't want any of my family knowing like, oh yeah, this fool dropped out of school to become like an artist and stuff. But now they're very accepting. Like my family, like they listen to my music. It's very cool. They're excited when they talk to me about it. They're like, oh, how's the music going? I'm like, oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's not like hey, how's the music going? It's like an actual supportive thing, you know?
I'm so glad you said that because that distinction is so huge.
Yeah.
Because there is very much like how's the little music thing going?
Yeah, that little meme where they sit in the corner.
Yeah. How's that little LA thing going down there? You know, that one.
You making connections?
Yeah. Yeah, bro. You know, you should, as long as they're always like, you know, if you know the right people, it's all it takes. You gotta like, it's like, all right, uncle. But I feel that there's like there's very much like the how's it going, and then there's like how's it going, like it's just a very, very, very different thing,
like,
and
actually genuine.
Yeah, like there's like the genuine care, the genuine interest, and there's like the not. It's kind of like this is like I wonder if you'll relate to this, but as somebody else who went to community college, and I grew up in a pretty like, you know, a decently well off school, high school, and so many of the kids went to like UCs or went to like just, you know, CSUs or whatever. And there would always be kind of like this stigma where I had a lot of friends who went to UCs, and like you know, if they asked me like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm going to community college. They'd always be like, oh, like what a great option, or like you're gonna save so much money.
You're taking the smart route, and I'm like,
yeah,
I can afford the other one.
Shut the fuck up, bro. Like, yeah, but that's how it feels. Like that's the distinction between like the how's the music thing and how's that little music thing you're doing.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel you on that though. That's so sick that they're that supportive though, bro. That's really, really cool. Where one thing that I was thinking about when you were talking and kind of how you began was, I think it's really cool how you started as not only a producer, which I think automatically gives you a leg up when you're trying to be, start an artist project. But I think like one thing you said that I latched on to was like I realized how fun it was.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is like super super key, bro. Like
100%.
and I think that comes across in a lot of your music. Like I think a lot of it is so fun and like so like casual, I think.
Yeah.
And I think you write about serious themes, of course, but a lot of it is over like very bouncy and fun production and stuff.
100%.
And it's almost like it is a weird comparison, but it's kind of like how Radiohead does the opposite, like where they'll be talking about like something super super sad, but it'll be like a somewhat upbeat song. It's kind of like the opposite,
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Do you think like longevity wise, staying in it now for like at least 4 years, what do you attribute that to? Do you think having so much fun with it is a big part of that?
Yeah, enjoying it. Just seeing like the growth over time too as well. Cause like I mean, shit, like we all have this every day. Like, oh, dude, I want to quit. Oh,
yeah,
I'm not getting the results I want. But then just looking at like comparing myself now to when I started, it's like, holy shit, like I've done a lot so far.
Yeah.
Even though like in my mind, I don't think I'm doing a lot. Like I have,
Dude,
and just like looking back on that, because it's hard. It's hard to keep that drive. It's hard to also keep it being fun.
Yeah.
Once like business gets involved or other things, or you're just like looking at numbers and stuff, you take the joy out of it. But then sometimes you just gotta go back to like where you started. Like, okay, let me just make a song today. Like let's just not think about that. Let's just make a song today. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. And it's also fun just seeing yourself getting better too. Yeah. Just seeing the improvement.
Yeah. Because you can get so wrapped up in like the what ifs and like the hypotheticals and like the future, right? And like trying to control the future, but then you forget that the only thing you really, really can control is the moment right here,
100%.
And like, am I having fun in this moment? Am I being productive in this moment? Things like that, I think those check-ins are so big to keep yourself present,
Mm-hmm. Even though there's stressful things right now and everything, like I know like in the future I'm gonna look back at this time and like, wow, like I missed that time, or like, wow, like I actually had a lot of fun back then, even though it didn't feel like it in the moment. Like, no, I'm having a lot of fun, especially like right now, living with my friends, we're all making music. It's great, and just also like being around. I mean, shit, like I'm really close to you, know, around here, so it's been good. I liked it.
One thing that I think I've been privy to recently is the idea of like thinking about yourself as a kid and then thinking about yourself as like a 15 or a 16-year-old and being like, what is like 15-year-old Bray like geeked on? Like what is 15-year-old Bray like freaking out about? Like if you could like if 15-year-old you could like look at yourself and be like, damn, like, or just like look at yourself now. Like having that check-in for me recently has really really helped me. Like I've been thinking about like whenever I get so wrapped up in like I didn't do enough today, or like I didn't do enough this week, or like, I'm really behind, or I gotta do this, or I gotta do that. I just kind of give myself that mental check and that mental break and be like, damn, bro, like imagine if 16-year-old you could see what you're doing right now. Like you'd have a fucking panic attack and faint because you'd be so excited,
Yeah. No, dude, yeah, like back then I would have never, like if you told me, if I went to the past and said like, hey, you're gonna be a music artist, nah, dude. Nah, like I'm not gonna get in front of camera, bro. Like get the fuck out of here. Or like I'm not gonna sing in front of people. Like it's just crazy because like I never thought, I thought I was just gonna produce. Like I thought I was just gonna produce at first, and then I started going on it and started like recording vocals. I'm like, damn, this is fun. And then like when I started, I'm like, fuck, I gotta be in front of cameras. I gotta perform in front of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely, because I mean 15, 16-year-old me too, I used to watch like a lot of things like music. Like I used to watch like the Genius videos and a lot of things, and just like
that's gotta be surreal.
Telling myself like, yo, you're gonna get one. It's just like, nah, dude.
Yeah.
And like also you're gonna be singing too. I'm like, nah, dude, my voice like is not great, bro. Like just seeing that. That's
so interesting to me because like I don't know if you resonate with this, but like your music to me has always been like vocals first. I think you're just a really really good singer.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, of course. But like it's interesting you not describe yourself like as a singer, and I didn't know this. I was gonna ask this, but it's really interesting to me that you haven't like, you didn't grow up singing, because like I would have thought that you kind of did, given how much of like a vocalist you are. How did your
kind of like I grew up kind of singing, but just like quietly, like not really out loud. But
so you just took yourself kind of.
Oh yeah, it's more so like self-taught stuff. I didn't really start taking it serious. Like probably just like, yeah, when I first started, you know, I was still able to like keep notes and stuff, but it was scratchy at first. Like I hated my voice. Like even though it's not on like my Spotify and stuff now, like it'll be on my SoundCloud and stuff, but a lot of my old music, that autotune was like blasted the fuck up. Like just, you know, I thought I was gonna be like T-Pain or something. I'm like, oh nah, like it's okay. But like over time, like it got better, and I'm like, holy shit, like it's just, you know, longevity and also just repetition, and it just, you know, I just kept getting better, and you know, just listening to a lot of the people I listened to the most were all vocalists too, like Frank and like everything too as well, and just singing in the car, you know, taking hour and a half long drives to LA and back, working out that studio, just like singing, and just, yeah, like over time, like it's crazy just like hearing my vocals when I first started compared to now. It's like, dude, I'm hitting like runs that I wouldn't even think I was gonna hit a few years ago.
It's crazy to me because you feel like a singer. Yeah, that's like so interesting that you didn't grow up like singing.
Yeah, that's now so I have the confidence to say like, oh yeah, I sing.
Like yeah, I think you do. Yeah, dude, for sure.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, of course. And also like on the autotune thing, I think you found like a very, very interesting pocket where like some of your songs feel more dry, and some of them like you have this really, really cool way of like catching the autotune in a fashion that like adds a lot to your voice, opposed to like it doesn't feel like a crutch at all. Like it feels like almost as if you're layering, which I'm sure you are, but almost as if like it's just adding volume to your voice in like a really, really cool way. Whereas like there's some artists where it's just like the autotune is all you hear, but then like you take somebody like T-Pain, who is like an incredibly good singer at every technical level, and is like an incredibly good singer naturally, and the autotune and the way he just allows it to catch, it adds, it doesn't subtract, which I think is definitely a pocket you're in.
Thank you.
Were there any artists that like you heard and you're like, I want to sing like that? Like, were there any that kind of like really, really influenced you vocally specifically?
Yeah, I would say like I would say my voice is like somewhat a little raspy, a little bit in terms of my singing voice, and I loved Anderson .Paak, you know. Oh yeah,
dude.
Kind of like the fusion I wanted like his voice. Of course, like everyone loves Frank. I love Frank's voice too as well. I'd say like those two probably mainly. Even when I started doing kind of like the melodic, like
what is that?
Stuff.
Someone mowing their lawn?
Big ass truck.
Or is it a truck? It might be the... Oh. I think it's gone.
Huh.
What was that? Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Sorry. Anyway, vocalist.
At first it was like T-Pain and stuff, the way I used the auto-tune, but then like over time, yeah, like Anderson .Paak, Frank, even just... it's just like the people that I used to listen to. Like I used to listen to a lot of like Omar Apollo. I mean, I still do. But yeah, just trying to take as many elements. Like I used to take a lot of inspiration from Doja Cat too.
Damn, that's interesting.
Smino, especially the way like they layer their vocals or have their, you know, background vocals, like very nice, you know, because pretty much like their background is just like another instrument.
That's
like exactly what I like. I love doing that with my vocals, just seeing like, you know, it just adds so much variety, and you know, you can have like a verse and stuff, but then you add that stuff on top, and just like, wow.
Yeah, I will say, as somebody who's not like a producer and has never really produced music, that might be the thing in the whole process that fascinates me the most, is like vocal layering, and just watching, like, I mean, just being in the studio with so many people, so many different artists for so many hours, just hanging out or whatever. Like watching artists layer vocals, I think has always been the most interesting thing to me, and the way in which like it's not only just like, it's not like one instrument, it can be like multiple instruments, you know, and just like both melodically and just like, I don't know, just the way people are able to turn vocal harmonies into like a whole different level. I think a lot of and this is very different from the influences you were just listing, but I think some artists that really, really, really have really made me think in that lane are a lot of like pop punk artists, but like specifically My Chemical Romance and Gerard Way. Bro, if you ever listen to like the isolated vocals of some My Chemical Romance songs, it's actually unreal. There's crazy. Like 10 layers and they're all entirely different, and some of them are like strictly ambient. Like he'll just be going like bum 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 bum, almost like acapella. Almost like it's yeah, bro, it's some really, really crazy shit, but it literally can just be like a whole nother side of a song, you know?
I started, yeah, it wasn't until like recently, the last like few months, where I started looking into acapella and other things too as well, like how they do the layering, everything. Oh my gosh, like this project I'm working on right now, like almost every song has like RIP whichever engineer decides to like agree on this, but like all these songs have like 30 layers, bro.
Jesus, dude.
It's so messed up. Like I look at it and I'm looking at the project. I'm like, dude, I would hate to be my engineer right now. Like, I'm about to teach myself how to do this right now.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, dude.
Is your process, do you usually like write something, demo it out, and then bring it to the studio to the producer or engineer, or do you record yourself mostly?
I record myself.
Do you produce everything yourself too?
I record almost everything myself. Recently, my music I've been producing mostly by myself, but if not, my friends that do produce, they'll just send me like loops, and I'll do all the arrangement. But in terms of production, like if I'm not doing everything, if someone, you know, has like, say like they have a beat ready, like I'll still do arrangement and everything too as well. Cause I mean, yeah, like as you know, when you start out like producing stuff, like you know exactly what you want, where you want the high points to be, you know, where you want the build-ups to be. Yeah. So it's great. I love working with producers, man.
Yeah, having that like level of flexibility, I'm sure, is so huge. But I guess there's pros and cons to it too, because I guess if you're working with a producer, like maybe sometimes you can't be as specific as if you were doing it yourself. But then simultaneously, I would say like, kind of on the flip side, I would imagine it'd be very, very hard to do everything for every song all at once, you know? Like, that's got to be way more stressful and way more time-consuming than just focusing on the writing or something, you know?
No, that's recently what I've been doing. Like, one of my friends, he's been, like, really busy. Like, one of my friends that, like, I make the most beats with, he's been a little busy, so I'm like, all right, I'll just do it.
Yeah.
You know, so I've been making like a lot of beats recently, and it's fun because it takes me back to when I first started. Yeah. You know, and just like seeing myself like get a little better at it. And, like I'm getting a lot more comfortable with it too. But yeah, it's cool. And like, you know, when you know exactly what you want to hear and you're able to just like translate that, it's great.
Yeah, dude. I remember I talk about this a lot, but I think with Premiere and like some editing softwares and stuff, I remember the moment when like the software was no longer controlling me and I was controlling it. And and kind of like as well when it got to the point where I could think of something like an idea or something I wanted to make, and like I knew the steps to get there, you know, opposed to like you know, thinking of an idea and then like struggling to figure out how to get there. It got to this point where it was like, oh, like I know exactly where to go and what to do and how to do this and like what I'm trying to get to, and like, you know, from beginning, middle to end, like I know how to get to this process, and that made it so much more fun, bro. It became like the software was a tool opposed to like something you were fighting, you know?
Yeah. No, definitely just understanding it. I might make the switch though. I might move from Logic to Ableton soon. We'll see.
Really? I think I'm about to go from Premiere to DaVinci. Why are you going from Logic to Ableton?
I don't know. There's like a lot of stuff to do in Ableton. At least that's in stock, but I don't know if I'll do it. I've been saying that for like years now.
I'm terrified of it.
I'm terrified of like starting a new DAW, because it's like even though it's like along the same, you know, lines of, you know, function and everything, like all the shortcuts are different, all this stuff, like all this knowledge I've had for years, it's like, damn, I gotta like relearn damn near all of it.
Or even like this sounds so silly to somebody who doesn't do this, but like there's things my hands do that I don't really technically realize like they're doing, like I'm not really thinking about how, like for example, right, like I've found that like I just pressed Control S every like 3 minutes without thinking about it, which is just the save hotkey. But it's like I just do that out of habit. Yeah. Even though I have autosave like on every 10 minutes or whatever, I'm still saving. Bro, this one fly is like literally like so confident.
I know, fool was on my arm for like a little bit.
Killing me.
I was kind of just letting him chill there for a while.
But yeah, it's like things like that where I'm just doing them without even thinking of them at all. It's almost like trying to relearn that is more than just learning a software. You're kind of like trying to retrain your brain a little bit, you know? That's like why I don't want to make the switch.
I probably won't. I say I'm going to, but I probably won't.
Yeah.
We'll see.
No, I feel it. But adapt or die. It's the reality. Making music. So being like from the OC and where you were, where exactly in the OC? What was it called? You said you're from?
It's South OC. Do you know where Laguna Beach is?
Yeah.
It's probably about like 15, 20 minutes out.
Okay, gotcha.
So like more inland, but yeah, like South OC. Like I'm about like 30 minutes from Anaheim,
Okay.
20 minutes from Laguna Beach.
Gotcha. So being from there, and you said there weren't a lot of people that were making music at the time. How did you kind of begin to build like a musical community? And like even you said that show where you met the IH guys that like that Colt threw and stuff. How did you meet Colt and everybody that's associated with him and kind of like that Orange County hyper pop adjacent, I guess, scene? And then moving from there to LA, how did you kind of start to build this community around you that you have now?
So I actually did have friends that like started making music too as well, but like not a lot of them took it as seriously as I did, but they still made music, so it was like I still had some friends to relate to it. Colton, I met him in college, or I met him in high school. Like,
that's crazy.
He went to the same high school as me. I remember I filmed this like bullshit rap video for like our school. It like played at the pep rallies. It was called Clash of the Classes. I could show you guys too because it's on YouTube. It's so bad, but I remember he watched that, and I went to a party after, and he's like, bro, like, that shit was good, bro. Let me know if you want a music video. And I'm like,
that shit was hard.
Nah, I'm not going to take this seriously. Year later, like, year and a half later, 2 years, we end up keeping contact because he sees, like, I'm, like, making music, and he's filming videos. At the time, he was just doing
director,
music videos.
Right?
Yeah, so, we were just keeping contact, and then he manages 2 people. One of them was, like, one of my good friends. His name is Jordan. He was in that show too as well. And then another one of his artists, Corey. You know Corey. Yeah. Yeah, he was in that show too as well.
Corey's been on the podcast. Shout out Corey.
Shout out Corey. Yeah, no, it was... I'm trying to think of the lineup first. It was Jordan, my friend Jeremiah, me... Dante, that was another guy that... That was another
another Dante?
Yeah, another Dante. Another guy that Colton managed. And then
sounds dope.
IH, and then... Yeah, that was it. Yeah, Lunar. Yeah. So, around those guys I already knew before the show, but Colt brought me closer to them too as well. Jordan went to my high school. So, like, a lot of the people I knew were just immediately like, oh, like, they're from high school. I met them in high school. I started making music, and they're like, hey, man, I make music too. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, well, cool. Like, I'm glad I'm not alone.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that happened, and then we had that show, and then I met, IH and stuff, and then when I started meeting them and I started hanging out with them, they were, like, a lot more tapped into, like, the scene that they were in more, and then they started bringing me around a lot of things, and that's how I met you. That's how I met Mario. That's how I met, Lance and everyone. And it was cool, because I've never seen that, like, type of community before. Like, especially, like, everyone's kind of, like, at their own pace, too, as well, and at their own stages, too, as well. But it was, like, a stronger sense of community,
Yeah.
And people gave a shit.
Yeah. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I think I relate to that, too. Where there was, like, some stuff in the Bay, for sure, but it was, like, moving here... There's just so much more and such more, like, just such higher magnitude, I think, as well, to where, like, it just became this really, really close, tight-knit community. And now that's just what I chase every single day. That's why I'm so excited for this fucking basketball tournament, bro.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be sick.
Yeah, because, like, I feel like with just the amount of people that are signing up so fast, and, like, just
how many teams are there so far?
There's, like, already, like, 12, 13 teams.
Bruh.
Yeah.
What's the max?
32.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so I'm like,
oh my god.
Yeah,
bro.
I'm fucking geeked. But yeah, dude, it's just like things like that. It's like finding ways to build community amongst musicians. It's like all I've ever wanted to do, and I think that has become a bit easier here than it was in LA. And I don't know, like, even like this garage and like just the stuff we do here every day is so inspiring to like have people come in and out. And I don't know, I feel you on that. Like it's so. The comparison between the time where you do have a bunch of friends in art and you don't have a bunch of friends in art is really, really big. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, no, of course. And it's like actually building community and not just like, oh, like we're just making connections right now. It's like, okay, like we actually like fuck with each other. We're actually like hanging out, doing fun things. Like, it's definitely great, and it's refreshing too as well, especially here in LA.
Yeah. I always say, like, why networking when you can just make friends?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, of
Let's just
course.
fucking make friends, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
I hate that, like, word, like the network. Yeah, it's just like, bro, just make fucking friends, dude.
It's like, hey, how you doing, man? Oh, I'm good. What's your name? Braden. Oh, cool, man.
Yeah.
Phone in the face. This is my IG. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, right. All right, bro. Like,
Yeah, bro, like, give me the gram. Like, what do you...
yeah, dude. It's like, all right, bro. Like, you're not going to talk to me for like 2 minutes, bro.
Yeah,
You're just pulling that up. And then he goes to the next person, does the same thing. I'm like, all right, bro. Like,
When my girlfriend was down here, she made this point to me, and it was frankly something I don't think I ever picked up on. But she was like, why does everybody here ask what you do immediately? And I was like...
yeah, that's very
I was
true.
like, I guess I never realized that, but I feel like the majority of conversations are led with, like, oh, like, what do you do? And I don't think it's, like, inherently a bad thing.
Yeah. It's just kind of funny, though. It's like a
Yeah.
funny observation that's so true.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's so weird. And I guess I don't know. I never realized it.
It'll be
until
like a
then.
party or like a show or like, you know, like you throw something here and then like most
Yeah.
of the time when I'm talking to a new person, I'll say like, it'll be like some people will either say like, oh, what do you do? Or like, I'm like, oh, how do you know Dante? Or like, you know, but it's so funny because yeah, like most shows I go to and stuff, people just assume that you do something.
Yeah.
And then like sometimes I would bring my friend to the show and they're like, oh, what do you do? And he's like, I don't know, bro. I go to school.
Yeah.
You know?
I post up.
Yeah. I'm just here, bro. I'm just here with Bray right now, bro.
It's like almost as if, like, I don't know. I hate this idea, but it's almost as if people assume like what you do dictates your worth.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
It's like what you do is what you are.
Yeah.
Which is fucking so stupid. But like
100%.
yeah, but I will say though, like I think as somebody who has at times become a victim of like becoming too obsessed with what they've done, I can see like that
Yeah.
world becoming a problem. Like, do you think you've always been able to maintain a good like work-life balance with music? Like
100%.
how you think so?
100%. Yeah. And yeah, just being real, you know, because I mean, shit. Like when I worked at the studio, I saw a lot of like weird shit. People acting very strange, you know, people acting very different.
Yeah.
With like other people behind closed doors, like etc. You know, and just like also seeing like the weird, you know, the weird people that like network like terribly, or you know, just I don't know, just seeing like everything from like an outside perspective too as well, and also just seeing like most of the people that I did look up to were just chill people, like genuine people, you
just
know,
like cool.
Yeah, cool. It's like it's just like, oh, I'm gonna develop a relationship with you, other than like, how can I use you, like how can I, you know, stuff like that. But just trying to be as real as possible, just, you know, stay true to myself and like my values and everything, not letting anything get in the way of it, you know.
What was the studio you worked at?
It was called Metronome.
Okay. And it was in LA?
It was in Santa Monica. Yeah, it was in Santa Monica. I interned there for a little bit, for about like 8 months. It's where I met my first manager too as well.
Okay, gotcha.
And then it's where I also met some of the closest people that I work with my music right now. We were all interns together.
Sick.
You know, trying to itch our way into some studio time, and like the select time we did get, we did make some crazy stuff. Like, yeah, no, I made like a lot of, you know, cool friends there. You know, I still talk to like a lot of them this day. You know, we went through some BS together. I had to move couches, I had to move cinder blocks, I had to paint the walls, I had to paint a bus, I had to mop the floors, I had to pick up dog shit.
Paint a bus?
Yeah, I had to clean up weed and a bunch of bullshit in the studio. But like I did learn a lot. Like I did learn about like how studios operate. I did learn about like, you know, wiring too as well, how to record myself, how to carry myself too as well, what to do, what not to do, you know. I did learn a lot within that span of time, because I didn't know anything about like the industry until, you know, my former manager at the time, like he was just, you know, putting me on game to like everything, you know. So definitely like a good experience, you know. There are some weird things about that place, but you know, like I would say overall it was like a good experience, you know. I got, you know, I made the most out of what I was given.
Was the goal at that point to be a producer?
Not really. No, like I knew at that point I knew I was gonna be an artist.
Gotcha.
But just trying to just learn as much as I can around, because the people I worked for, they were pretty like established. You know, they were produced for Drake, Post Malone, Travis, like a lot of people. Kanye, you could think about, like, yeah, they were on Donda. They were on like a lot of projects, and they were just around like a lot of successful people. A lot of crazy people would pull up to the studio. Like I met Designer, I met Nav, I met like a bunch of just random ass like fools, but just being around it was just like a lot different, you know. But yeah, just getting a taste of it. It was more so like rap stuff too as well, but I mean, the industry is kind of the same throughout,
Yeah.
you know.
It's so weird to have that kind of like, what will this be like versus what it actually is, mentality.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like that expectations versus reality thing, right?
100%.
It's like you can never know what it's like to work in that studio until you're actually there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it so you said it was kind of like an overall good experience? Do you think you learned a lot from it?
I'll say about that, I learned what I could. I try to sponge as much information as possible. Some of the people that I worked for, though, like, they did, some of them helped me a lot. Like, one of my former bosses, his name was Half, like, he would put me on games, like, a lot of shit.
Sick.
Like, he saw that I was, like, good work and everything, so, like, he decided to, like, not help me out, but just, like, inform me on a lot of stuff. Like, he taught me about publishing, he taught me about, like, a lot of things. He put me on, like, he put me on, like, a few books to read about the industry. He's a good dude. I can tell he genuinely cared and wasn't just, like, using me to, like, move his furniture. He was just actually, like, he wanted to see us grow and everything.
That's beautiful, bro. It's so cool when people who, like, don't have to do that do,
Mm-hmm.
I always feel like that's kind of like a mark of success, is when somebody feels like they have the time, and not only the time, but like the bandwidth and the knowledge, I guess, to like want to help somebody else learn. That's so key, because I think there's so many people in this industry that just gatekeep shit, that like
gatekeeping, stepping on others.
Yeah, exactly. Where you literally like could be lifting people up in the opposite way, and it's like I don't know, there's always this weird mentality in this industry, I think, where like people think there's like a limited amount of music that can be consumed, which I just don't believe. Like, I just don't think there's like a world where like not everybody can win. I feel like everyone can,
Yeah.
It's so weird that we have this mentality where it's like me versus you versus me.
It's the crab barrel, bro.
Yeah, dude, crabs in a barrel. Exactly. Okay, so talking about your album, you mentioned that you were kind of moving in a direction where you're recording more for a new project right now?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. How does that project kind of differ from the debut? So 2022 was your debut project, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go 2 years, put out a bunch of singles, find some really good success with those singles, and then now you're moving into a period where you're recording another album. How do you feel musically like the approach has differed? Obviously, you're in a very different place in life. I'm sure you have a lot more experience now. Are you going into these songs with a different mindset at all?
A little bit more, yeah. This one, I feel like there's more direction in terms of like the project and like I'm trying to tell a story. I feel like a lot of projects are just like compilations and like mixtapes and stuff. They're not really like pieces of work, like fully through. I want to try to make a very cohesive album, listen to like 1 to 8,
Gotcha.
and just like tell a story, and that's what I feel like projects should be, I mean, unless you call them like an LP or something, then yeah, sure, cool, like that's cool, but like
give it a different name.
Do not call it an album or like any of this if it's not really like directed, but that's just my opinion. But I'd say in terms of like the sound, I definitely feel like I'm definitely showing my vocal ability a lot more too, definitely, just like experimenting a lot more with like my vocals, background vocals, just all of that. In terms of production and stuff, kind of veering away a little bit from like the EDM kind of sound, still keeping the same sound that I had before, but just like just adding more variety to it as well. But I'm experimenting with like a lot of different sounds too as well. And I'm having fun with it. I feel like this project, like me making it, it's been fun, and I'm trying a lot of different things, and that's what we all should do every time we go into it.
Yeah. I'm super excited that it's more like vocally driven. That's so cool, because that's probably my favorite thing about your music is your voice.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, of course. It makes a lot of sense, I think, that you're talking about like it being very thematically driven and just like a full, complete project. Because I do feel like your debut is similar, like the intro and the outro kind of being like phone call driven, and you have like some of those voice messages and stuff throughout. Is it kind of a storyline in the similar way how the first album was in that sense? Are you trying to say something specific, or are you trying to write just more driven songs in general?
Just a little bit. I feel like the last project I had was kind of like a coming of age
totally
project, but this one
it was like an intro, like who the fuck's Brett? Yeah,
definitely. This next one is kind of just centralized on me trying to, I guess in a sense, just like me toying around with like love and everything.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very, you know, because I'm trying to work on 2 right now.
Okay.
My manager's like, bro, just go one at a time. And I'm like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
But it just, you know, this just kind of just developing, you know, my, you know, just like single life, and then going into like transitioning into like, okay, I want like more intimate connection too as well. So just like exploring that area of my life. You know.
Yeah, that I think is a thing that comes very, very much with experience. I think is having the wherewithal and the confidence. I think is the big thing to like be vulnerable in music stuff. You know, like it's really fucking hard, bro, to put yourself out there in a way.
And then to post it, or like even just making it just like, damn, like I really am gonna put this out in the world like this.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm very comfortable in terms of like being vulnerable now, because I don't know, it just like ever since the last project and stuff, it took a lot for me to do vulnerable songs and just put that out there, you know, and show people who I am, because you know it's not easy to do.
No.
You know, like writing a song like, oh, they love me, like stuff like that. You know? But it's beautiful. I mean, that's what I'm feeling. It's real feelings. You know? It's not like I'm making this up, you know, and I feel like that takes a lot of maturity to really just put that out there.
How do you think you got to the place where you're way more comfortable putting those ideas out into the world? Like, was it a conscious thing? Like, did you kind of go into this project saying, like, I want to be more vulnerable? Like, I want to talk about more themes that are more vulnerable? Or did it kind of just come out because where you were in life?
I feel like I was very, like, uninspired in terms of music for, like, a last, like, in terms of, like, a little bit ago. Like, I was just making, like, you know, just like, fun little stuff at first. But then I really started writing about just vulnerable stuff. You know, I tried it out once, so I'm like, okay, might as well just write it. And then I look back and I'm like, wow, like this is pretty good. You know, and it's like, okay, wow, like this is real, and like I feel like people would like resonate with it way more than like, you know, just like your average like, oh, I'm out in the club, like, you know, stuff like that. You know, just what made me fall in love with like the artists that, you know, I listened to is just the fact that they were able to get vulnerable and relatable to as well. And I feel like that's the best part of music, when you can connect people to yourself, and like, you know, you can help people out, and with your own experience, you know, going into theirs, you know.
God, bro, it's such a strange mindset, I think, to not think about music that way. And it's always perplexed me when people can't think, well, I don't know, maybe that's a potential point of view, but I feel like everything musically that's ever changed a lot or has ever been like timeless, right? For example, it's always been led by emotion. I don't think music that changes things or like lasts forever is ever led by anything but emotion, you know? Like it's always driven through it. Like, I don't know, like there's certainly like generational bangers that are just kind of like fun songs, but no one is like pointing to those songs as like the songs that changed their life, you know?
100%. And that's another thing about the vulnerability is like, when I started making songs like that, I'm like, wow, this is just a lot better. You know, it's because it's real, you know, it you know, it's relatable, and, you know, like so many more people can just like feel this and actually feel something, not just like, wow, I listened to like a cool beat, or like I listened to like a cool, nice little catchy tune, and you know, something that people could just sit on and just like reflect among themselves. And
it's staying power too. It's like, it's so interesting too, because it's like a sound can be very, very time and place. Like certain sounds can be very, very like appropriate depending on where you are in your career, but also like where the culture is, right? Whereas like emotion, on the other hand, is kind of forever, you know? Mario, can you pass me the bug spray right there? I'm gonna fuck this fly up right now, bro. This guy is way too bold. Thank you. As soon as he fucking lands, I'm fucking him up, bro. He's so bold, bro. This one fly is
crazy.
Like
he brought a buddy too, man.
Yeah, like stupid bold. Like he's been landing like all over me this whole time. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's all good.
But yeah, I was just
we're dealing with that at my house too, so it's chilling.
But it's literally just those like those two fucking flies, bro. They're just so bold. Like they were like, and watch now they're like gone. Like
as soon as we called them out, bro, they're like, oh fuck, they're onto us now. They did.
Bro. They saw the gat and they were like, I don't want it. I don't want it.
They know their condition, bro.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, so anything that at least I believe, right? Like anything that stays forever and ever and ever and ever, it's always driven by like some kind of emotion. Be that like a emotional thing where like, you know, somebody like, I think music that lasts forever very often is like politically driven or culturally driven, or, you know, that, or just like a very, very deep and meaningful exploration of oneself. And I think those are, wait a second. You're dead. You're dead. You're gonna die in 3 to 4 minutes. In 3 to 4 minutes, your body will burn. Rest in peace, my brother.
Rest in peace.
But anyway, yeah, emotion. I've said it like 4 times at this point. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, that I think it's really, really cool that you're going into the new project with that kind of mindset, and I think that certainly will help to make something that I think stays a lot longer and something that you are probably more connected to, you know?
100%.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the last things I want to ask you, I guess second to last or third to last or whatever, but when you kind of, like you said, like you and I guess you were talking about earlier, are kind of in this space where, like, you know, you guys are definitely getting some traction, but kind of in this place where, like, you know, you can see things ahead of you that you're very interested in and want. What do you feel musically has been like the biggest turning point for you? Be it either like a sound thing where you found your sound, or be it like a moment that kind of, for you at least, changed the trajectory of the way you were going?
I would probably say like I think my turning point definitely was 2022. Like the very end of 2022. Yeah, like I was making like a lot of music that I was like, oh wow, like this is good.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not like I didn't like my music before, but it's just like I feel like it just kind of went in a jump, and then end of 2022, early 2023, I felt like was kind of just the starting point. You know, I you know, managed to, you know, meet my manager now, and, you know, he helped me a lot. He ended up getting me an opportunity with 88 Rising for like a song, and then also he helped me with my Genius stuff and everything. And I thought that was like a turning point, because I was like, oh fuck, like people are listening. Yeah, you know, people are out there now, you know. And just I feel like I got a lot more confidence too, like in terms of just seeing the numbers go up, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is crazy. Like I used to get hyped over like 100 people, you know, and now it's like, oh my gosh, you know. And just seeing every year just like it, you know, going up a little bit more, and just like, wow, okay, I gotta keep going. Yeah, I'm so like I'm too far in to like quit. Yeah, that's a beautiful moment though. I think like when you get to that place where it's like, oh, well, I can't fucking quit now. Yeah, I've been here that long, you know. Like I think there's 2 ways to look at that. It can be like a negative thing, but I also think there's something really, really beautiful about that, bro. About like the, wow, like I'm in it. This is what I'm doing. I'm in it. For better or for worse, I'm in it, you know? Definitely. Yeah, it's like till death do us apart, we're here. 100%. It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, that's super, super cool. And I think, dude, like having somebody on like not only a managerial level, but really any level, I think, that just wholeheartedly believes in your artist project and is like putting as much into it as you, can be like a huge turning point. And I think like a lot of people have expressed that to me, like when they found that manager, or like even that A&R, or like, you know, even that collaborator or that producer, whatever it be. It sounds like for you definitely was your manager in that place. How did you guys, you said you met at that internship? So I was actually managed by 2 people. So my first one I met at the internship, and then the second one found me off like a TikTok. And then he was like, where do you live, bro? I'm like, I live in OC. And he's like, oh bro, I'm in Buena Park. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Okay, for sure. And then we just met up like halfway, you know, and he was just like, wow, like he's like, oh, I believe in the music, you know, it sounds good, you know, I have a lot of faith, you know, in everything. Both of them like very much, you know, just believed in the sound before everything, you know. This was when I was like, my monthlies were probably at like a couple hundred or something like that. Damn. And they found it from TikTok? Yeah, he found it from TikTok, which is funny because at the time I wasn't posting at all. And like the one that I did, he just commented, he's like, yo, this is dope, DM me. He's like, all right, let's meet up. And yeah, ever since then, him and my other managers are just like really pushed me, and they're just like, we believe in the music. Yeah. You know, just keep doing it. You know, we'll try to see what we can do. Yeah. And it definitely helped us out. Shout out Kenny. Shout out Malad.
Shout out.
Shout out Kayvon from Genius too as well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely some needle movers there.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's beautiful, bro. I think like, yeah, just having that person that unequivocally believes in you changes everything. And I think one thing on the managerial level that's so valuable about that is it sounds like they didn't like overpromise. I think a lot of managers get in this place where they're promising, I can do this and I can do that and I can do this. But I think the best thing you can do is just say like, I will do everything in my power to make sure that your music is heard.
100%. And
that is like the promise that matters the most, in my opinion. It's not like I have connections to this label, or it's not like, you know, I have connections with this curator, or it's not I have connections with this editorial. I think the most important thing is like, I will ride for you, and like I believe in this, and I believe in the music, and I believe in you as a person. So it's like, if anything comes up, it's coming your way, opposed to just like, I can do this right now, you know.
One thing that stuck with me with one of my managers was, he's like, dude, to be honest, I don't know what I'm doing. You know, I don't fully know what I'm doing. I'm gonna be real right now, but I'm gonna figure it out as much as I can, like with you, and like I'm gonna work my hardest to make sure, like, you know, we get to that place.
Yeah, like that honesty is so valuable.
Yeah,
because it's so vulnerable. You know, it's so like egoless. I think like it's very much like a team thing. It's like, here's where I'm at, here's where you're at. Let's get where we want to be.
100%.
Yeah, that's so sick, bro. I'm glad you found that. That's a beautiful thing.
Yes, sir.
All right. Last thing I think I wanted to ask you. If you had one message that you could spread with your music, through your music. Actually, before we get there, I forgot to do this, but I meant to do this in the very beginning, but we just got rolling so fast. We got on a tangent. I think you're the first person we've had on the podcast that is a longtime Patreon member. So I just wanted to thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's very, very nice of you, bro. And thank you for always like supporting everything. You're always supporting, bro. I always appreciate you, man.
Of course, bro. The same way back. Thank you for the support too as well.
Of course, brother. Always. But yeah, so if you had one message that you could spread through your music, when it's all said and done, what would that message be?
I was honest and good person. Yeah. And I help people.
Beautiful.
I think that's like things that, you know, I don't want to be remembered too much. It's just like, oh no, like I just want to, you know, people to know that like I was chill. Yeah. I was cool, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
You're just a regular person.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know, I'm just like a regular dude, you know.
I love that.
I'll achieve some stuff and like hopefully I'd inspire other people to do the same.
Yeah, the de-romanticization. I love that. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Sick, dude. That's actually a really cool answer. I feel like some people are very like big statement, but I think it's cool.
I'm gonna be the greatest. I mean, I
think it's really cool that it's just like, I just love it and I want to do it and I want to have fun.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. Like one thing is like I want people to know that I was having fun doing it.
Yeah.
And like I want people to know that like, okay, if you want to do it, go ahead, because you know, it's great. It's fulfilling.
Fuck yeah, bro.
You know?
Bray, thank you, my brother.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the yerba.
Always, bro.
Of course,
Thank you
I love yerba.
for always supporting, man. I always appreciate it, dude.
Of course.
Love your music. Very inspired to hear what's next.
Yes, sir.
Tell them where they could. So you have a project that's you're working on right now. Tell them where they can stream your previous stuff. If you have any shows coming up, where they can follow, where they can do all the stuff.
No shows right now. Shows will come soon. Everything on all platforms. My little buddy right there.
I'm gonna kill him. Yeah. We're literally gonna fuck him up so hard.
I'm Bray with an 8, ARAE on everything. Braden on Instagram, BRAEDEN, no B8.
The government name is the heart. Yeah, I was saying this earlier, bro. You have the coolest name. Oh wait, hold up.
Oh yeah, no, I'm cool with you.
Wait. You're dead. Look at that. Finally, you can't fly anymore. Now you're dead.
Okay. Wait, sorry, what?
I was just saying you have the coolest government name out of anybody I've ever met.
Braden Dean Dragon.
That's the coolest fucking name ever. Oh, it's so sick, bro. It's so sick. Like literally the coolest name I've ever heard.
My dad's name is cooler. He's James Dean Dragon.
I kind of like yours more.
Thank you, bro.
Braden Dragon, like, bro, that's just so raw. Anyway, I'm just rambling now. Thank you, bro.
Of course. No, thank you.
Appreciate
for having
you,
me,
bro. Yes, music matters.